Well, g'day Dragons fans and welcome to the Mad Dragons vodcast, brought to you by Complete Warehouse Solutions, a family-owned and operated business with more than 100 years combined experience. Jeff and his team are more than pleased to assist in your Sydney warehouse refurbishment or fit-out project. Based on Commerce Drive in Lake Illawarra, get in touch with the team on 42571930.
Just sit right back and hear them tell the tale of a podcast crew who gather around their mighty drink to give their point of view. As man is the panel's fire, he shows that he has fun, and Donnie, our host, will jump along, guiding us through the storm, guiding us through the storm. Big T's our Rocky keeps us true, he often gets his say. And just alive, he knows the girls and everything dragons win. And everything dragons win. The Mad Dragon podcast is a journey unforeseen. With Tasman and Donnie too. And there's Big T and Coco. Just the start. Mazza and the other crew. Here on the Mad Dragon podcast.
Well, I'll kick it off by saying I'm sad. I think the team today put in an effort to be proud of. There were players that made mistakes, sure, but I don't think there was a single player that didn't try. For me, it hurts to say that the better team won because it's the bloody Sharks, but I don't think either team was bad. I don't think either team was particularly good either. But I think on the day, the team that played the best won. We weren't shortchanged. We were just beaten. Now to a man that has a stronger sense of justice. A man with a keen sense of right and wrong. A man that is sure to convey a different opinion to me. It's Heroes and Villains.
Down, you can buy yourself pure to the tin pan, lock strapped on your front door. Well, there ain't nothing but heroes and villains, more villains than heroes. What can you tell? What from the next? Can you go down from zero? There ain't nothing but heroes and villains, more villains than heroes. All lined up from the east to the west, black and moon or an infinite chest.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. We don't disagree on many things, you and I, but there might be one or two things here that may be bones of conjecture. So here we go. Heroes and Villains for round 9. Star Wars Episode 9, Return of the Shit Hunt. 1 versus 12 in the Battle of the Beaches, where the recent rain turned Shark Park from a dry shithole into a damp one. Where once again, Ben Hunt's kicking game was yet again well below what you'd expect from a man on that sort of coin. Now, if you cast your mind back to Team List Tuesday, my prediction, given the wet conditions that were forecast, was for a 44-12 loss. And while I'm happy that that didn't happen, there are some questions that still need to be asked. The fifth tackle options were absolutely bloody awful. The refereeing from that idiot redhead Todd Smith equally so. I think the score flattered the Dragons somewhat, with the goal line defence doing just enough to keep the Sharks at bay for the most part. Now, there were some good performances, including Tom Eisenhuth, who had 60 tackles with only 2 missed, and also Christian Tuipulotu, who ran for 195 metres in 21 attempts. Now, given the pacing that we took from Newcastle in absolute swamp-like conditions just a few weeks ago, and against the current number 1 side, not an altogether bad showing. The return of Mikhaili Ravalawa was a welcome one, getting 2 tries, running 170 metres, and doing what he does best. Now, this game marked the 150th appearance for Jack Bird in the top grade, against his old team, or one of his old teams, and the occasion was marked by a special jersey, as seen here. Donnie, I don't know if you've got the jersey up there. If we can get that up.
There we go.
Yep, just waiting for it to populate.
It's up now.
Now, so as I said, the occasion was marked by a special jersey, but in typical Dragons style, in the slick-ass, fast food, Persian bazaar manner we've come to expect from this absolute shambles of a club. As you can see, the writing on this jersey clearly says Sharks versus Dargans. What the fuck is a Dargan? Have these morons ever had a spell check, for fuck's sake? There's got to be an investigation into this. Someone's got to be held accountable for this. You got a guy who's played 150 games, and this is what you dish out. Did Peter Doust approve this after a shit ton of crownies, or what? Pathetic performance by a back office who should all have been sacked 13 years ago. Now, just to change tack slightly, Todd Smith, you're lucky this happened, or you would have been the firing line, my son. You are an absolute red-headed fuckwit of a referee. You should be refereeing under sixes in Bathurst. Back to you, Donald.
Donald.
What about the knock on now?
Jesus Christ. Fair income. I
did
lost
warn you.
the words after that. I missed you, mate. I missed you last week. Like you sent me a written bloody statement last week, and I read it like a politician. You just exploded all over the vodcast right there, and we are covered in Hasman gunk. Thank you, I guess. I don't know. Let's bring in the rest of the panel here. We've got a few on tonight. We've got Hasman, of course, who we've just seen. Big T giving us the peace sign. Jesse, I don't know what's going on in your face there. You've got a bit of reflection going on there, but I'm not sure what that's from. But the Menai Dragon, Rob, is back. He's had some computer issues, but fantastic to have Rob back on the vodcast as well. All right, we'll get in now to the next segment. Hasman's Heroes and Villains is done. We'll go into the Mad Dragons vodcast Player of the Year voting. First of all, want to say once again a big thank you to our proxy voters. It seems every week we've got people who can't watch the game and don't send their votes in, so we rely on people out there in the Mad Dragons community. I told James Gray I'm forming a cult, and this is it. You are all part of the cult, so welcome. Yeah, make sure you absolutely drink the Kool-Aid. It is fantastic.
Are we there?
I love it.
Are we the disciples? Are we all the disciples or what?
100%, mate. You're leading the charge. You're my frontline disciples.
Listen to me. Love it.
This week, our proxy voters, Dre Cruikshank jumped in. I'd love to read some of his thoughts at the end of this segment as a way of thanking him for his contribution. And also, that man, James Gray, who's a common antagonist pisses many people off, but there's no doubting his genuine love for the club. He's personally one of my favourite Mad Dragons that isn't on the panel. I love everyone who's on the panel more than you, James Gray, but you're up there, mate. So you probably make the top 100. Righto, into the man voted by the panel as the best, and his third Man of the Match award in 4 weeks. It's Jaden Sewer. Jesse, you were one of just 2 panel members that had Sewer as our best. Tell us why you had Sewer as the Man of the Match.
So Sewer was the only forward that I thought that had a real dig. I thought all our forwards were very lazy today. They didn't really want to get their hands down and dirty and cut the ball up. I thought Sewer really ripped in and tried his guts out for the side. So he ripped in. So I'll just bring up his stats. So he played the full 80 minutes, 18 runs, 18 hit-ups, 19 runs, 149 metres, 48 post contact, 6 tackle breaks, 26 tackles, 3 missed. But yeah, it was all in all outright our best forward on the day, and pretty much our best player. And yeah, I thought he was the only real player that really had a red hot go today, and in really tough conditions again. But yeah, his name's been shortlisted for Origin, and yeah, I agree with you before, as what we said pre-show. What is the club doing? Hurry up and re-sign this bloke before there's talk that Wayne Bennett will go back to Souths, and I wouldn't be surprised if Jaden Sewell returns there if we don't snap him up quickly.
Yeah, James Savage echoing those thoughts, Jesse, and without preempting anything, I kind of want to let the show flow a little bit tonight because I don't have much of an agenda. So I might, I'm not. I'll go to you, Hasman, because we've got a few people who want to talk about the 3-2, what the other 3-2-1s. But Jaden Sewell, like at this stage, it's uncertain as to whether we want to re-sign him, whether we're going to re-sign him. What's going on there? Like he's been, as we've just said, he's been our best 3 out of the last 4 weeks, according to our panel of 8 judges. Like it's not an insignificant panel number. What's happening? Are we going to re-sign him, or are we that stupid?
Well, I mean, in terms of stupidity, I think I've covered that fairly comprehensively already tonight. But no, I mean, what the fuck is Flano doing? I mean, how have we not signed him yet? What is holding it up? I mean, we've got a shitload of cash to throw around, supposedly, so it can't be that, unless they're not offering him enough, in which case they're morons. But, I mean, if they're not going to sign Jaden Sewell, then who the hell are they looking at?
Big T, you chucked your hand up there, mate.
Angus Crichton.
He's been our
Josh
best for the entire bloody season.
He has been, yeah, honestly, yeah, he has. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, and he hasn't got a bloody contract yet. Like, what the hell are they doing? What
you chucked your hand up there. Did you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I was just saying, both him and Jack DeBellin should be re-signed straight away. And yeah, there shouldn't be any man on their way to throwing him. I know Jack DeBellin getting on.
Get rid of Ben Hunt and give him both bloody half his money.
Yeah, absolutely. But we've got no one to replace Ben Hunt. That's the problem.
Honestly, I'd take fucking Jesse Marshke over Ben Hunt at this point.
Look, I don't know.
That is how over Ben Hunt I am right now.
Yeah, I think that's an emotional response.
When have you ever known me to be emotional about this team, Donnie? When have you ever do that? I've never done that in my life.
Yeah, you're very similar to me in that way. You know, like we're pretty calm, level-headed type of people.
We're very sort of very calm people, aren't we?
If you analyse the boys,
never lose our cool at any point, do we?
If you analyse the boys, we
need
him. We need Jaden Sewell, 28 years old. He's the closest thing we've got to a real mongrel forward, a guy who who really rips in. Like, do you remember? You go back in the past, Gordon Tallis, Jeremy Smith, guys like that. We cannot lose a player like this. This guy's got full of mongrel, full of passion, and it's just ludicrous to lose a player like this. I mean, I have no doubt Wayne Bennett would snap him up. Absolutely, take him 110%. It's just madness to lose a player of that ilk. When we're finding it so hard to attract players, why are we going to lose a player like this? So I agree with Donnie. There's no real explanation for it or justification for it. A club that's struggling to attract some really, really decent players, and we let one go at the age of 28.
The future looks bleak if we got no sign of what a Flano wants to we don't know what team Flano wants to build. We don't know what his vision is for the future. until he comes out and says what he wants and what he wants to see for the next couple of years.
Yeah, but
It's very clear as mud.
Basically a write-off. He said this year's basically a write-off. Look to next year. That's where we're going to start sort of competing. How the hell are we going to do that with this current absolute fucking rebel on the field and the absolute joke off it? How is that going to
Nobody
happen?
wants to come. Nobody wants to come.
No, they're seeing this week effort, week in, week out from this team, and it's very hard to watch.
Today's was supposed to be the effort of the off-contract players. When they're supposed to start.
Well, according to John Carrots, I think, mate. I don't think anybody else said that.
But it's true, though. They've got to start stepping up and showing that they want to play for the club, for one, and they'll continue on with their best efforts,
It's pretty lazy that no forwards run.
Well, we had 2 forwards run over 100. So
there's at least 12 players in this squad that Shane Flanagan needs to fucking get rid of. There's at least 12 of them.
Yeah, the problem with that has
start with.
the problem with that has, man, it's the 12 players. The 12 players that Flanagan wants to get rid of. The 12 players we want to keep. He wants to get rid of everyone we want to keep, and he wants to keep everyone we want to get rid of. Like he wants to get rid of Sewer, he wants to get rid of DeBellin, he wants to get rid of Zach Lomax. These are the players we want to keep, and Flanagan's got rid of
Lomax.
Well, he already has, yeah.
He already got rid of him.
Did anybody else want to get rid of him?
I mean,
apart from Flanagan?
At this point, we're basically going to be, stuck with bloody 2 players, Tyrell Sloan and bloody Jack Bird.
Jack Bird, yes, and Ben Hunt.
Yeah, that's what we're going to keep.
Fucking, Flano's answer to Corey Norman fucking Bird.
That's 8 now.
Flanagan, of course, Daddy's boy.
Yeah. You're keeping a tally of Hasman's F-bombs. BT.
Yeah, it's going to be up there tonight, I think.
That sort of night.
Yeah, that sort of night.
You're up to 8. That's
stretching
the friendship. You're just trying to get booted. You want an early night, don't you?
Yes, that's right. That's right. Walk like an Egyptian, Has. Walk like an Egyptian.
Gonna do the belly dance next.
Or I could walk like Blake Loring, just walks very slowly backwards. Get Jackson Ford back. That's what we're missing. We're missing Jackson Ford.
Yeah. He's going real well.
We just want forwards to get down and dirty, get into their work. That was non-existent today.
No, they didn't.
Oh, looks like I've got a bit of a fan here in James Savage.
Yeah, well, he's that. But he's found a way not to use that word.
Well, more or less.
Not to add to that tally. No, he's.
No, I didn't add to it. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. He gets gets the point across.
Dude, no, put up his next one. That was hilarious.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. All right. Well, at this stage, it's worth mentioning that 10 different players out of 17 received votes today. So there was a fair bit of disagreement in terms of who were the best players for the Dragons. And honestly, there were some players I felt were the worst players on the field, and they got votes from some people. So not everyone will agree with these 3-2-1s, but our second best, I'm sure, will be fairly popular. Big T, you had Jack DeBellin as our best. He's at the second best according to the panel. Why did you think Jack was number one?
He played 41 minutes on, and 15 runs, 125, 127 metres, something, 33 tackles, 1 tackle break. He didn't miss a tackle. That's why I gave him man of the match over Jaden Sewer, because Jaden Sewer missed 4 tackles. the run meters weren't much difference. Jaden Sewell played 80 minutes, but Jack DePillon played 41. Yeah, 33 tackles, 0 missed. He done his job today, and I wish he could have made it longer. So, yeah, he was my man of the match. And if you come second in the VOD, fair enough.
So, Jesse, I mean, why is Jack DeBellin only playing, what did you say, 41 minutes? Is that all he played?
41 minutes, yeah. 41.
Why the hell is Jack DeBellin?
Michael
Jack
played
DeBellin
more.
should be playing 50 to 60 minutes. Why is Jack DeBellin only playing 41 minutes?
Honestly, I couldn't really. I don't know.
He didn't look injured or anything, so.
Well, last week he didn't have one of his better games. He tied out pretty quickly. I know it's against that pretty fast and full on Roosters side, but I don't know if it was looking at what happened to him last week, how tired he looked. He probably didn't want to get him too tired quickly into the game. He is slowing down a bit. Well, let's be honest. But yeah, I expected him to play a lot more minutes in that, especially with those conditions today, because the go forward would have been crucial to us getting out of our own end. And throughout the game, we did struggle to get out of our own end. And yeah, I honestly don't know why he should be starting. I reckon he should be starting. To be honest, there's not enough go forward up front. You mentioned Harme Sele was below par last week as well, so. Yeah. Is he a look at to maybe start in the coming weeks?
I think he should come off the bench. I think he's an impact player, comes on at about the 22-minute mark and plays the rest of the game. That's the way he should be used. Comes on and bashes through the tired middle that's already on the field, and yeah. But Cronulla's middle didn't change much when they went to their bench, so it was pretty tough against Cronulla today.
Well, Harme Sele did make a response. As you said, Donnie, he made a response. He made 13 runs for 106 metres, so he was a lot better today, Harme Sele.
Yeah, it's still probably not quite where we need him to be in terms of it's a better work rate. 13 runs. How many minutes did you say?
How many minutes? He only had 49 minutes.
Okay, so the work rate's a lot better there. 13 runs. You still want him to be up a little bit closer to 10 runs per 10 metres per run.
How many minutes is played?
10 metres per run is standard.
Yeah,
not for the Dragons, mate. Our best is about 8.9. Our best forward is about 8.9 metres per run.
Yeah.
Well, Frankie Bolo was well below par, 9 runs for 71 metres.
Yeah, I haven't had a great look at the stats. I haven't had a chance to really analyse them yet, but yeah, I'll certainly have a look over the coming days. But yeah, just sort of looking at the way they went, and I thought Harme Sele definitely had a bit of a go today, and yeah, responded better and was a bit better than he was last week against the Roosters. Still not amongst our best, and hoping to see a bit more from him. But there was actually a tie for third in the voting, and Rob, you had Mika Ravalawa as our best overall, as he was equal third from the panel. Tell us why you thought Rava was better than the rest.
I just thought it was magic. He scored a couple of tries. I thought he tried his heart out, his guts out, and it took some stick along the way. I think was it the Sharks, Ronald McDonald, the winger, gave it to Rav Mulatalo, but
Rob knows what his name is, Jesse. He doesn't really think it's Ronald McDonald. He's just taking the fucking piss. Let him take the piss.
I thought it was a good game for Rav, and I'm probably more. I was looking at my votes today as just giving it to players I thought that were putting in the effort. You know what I mean? That had a good dig, had a good go. So that's why I gave my votes to Rav today. And I mean, God, the guy scored 21 tries last year, so to get out for a couple today against the Sharks, I thought was a good thing, positive thing for us leading in the next few weeks, months, whatever. So yeah, good on Rav, to be honest with you. But just one thing I'll add. One thing I noticed with the Sharks today, just on watching and observation, how fast they were. I mean, whether you want to call it from dummy half or their passes. I mean, some people say the Sharks were off today, but I just thought how fast they were. So maybe that's something for us in the future, a key little ingredient there in the future that I'm not saying fast is always better, but obviously the way they play, their speed was quite
fast is
impressive.
obviously fast is clearly something we don't have at all, Rob. Apart from Tyrell
Yeah,
Sloan,
we
have no fast.
We had a quicker play the ball speed today.
Yeah, which is surprising because when you look at
Yeah,
it, when you're watching it, the Sharks just look so fast. You
They
know,
did.
like A to B, C, and D. So,
but I don't think our defence was moving up. They were running to the line, so they were running it as. That's why they looked like they were at the top of us. I think.
yeah.
That's why I think. But they were only 3.5 seconds. We were 3.3, so we were just a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
You know,
Personally,
and
I didn't
literally
see that speed
three.
from the Sharks that you're talking about there, Rob. I didn't think they were that much faster than us. Hasman, you were trying to get in there?
Yeah, so just having a look at the stats, Donny, because you know how much I love stats. Out of our top 5 sort of run meters this week, 4 of them were bloody backs.
Yeah.
Sewell got 146, and you know he's still bloody third. He got bloody Tuipulotu with 195, and Ravelo with 171. The only
Okay, well, do you want to go and have a look at? Do you want to go and have a look at the Roosters and tell me if they're any different? Do you want to go and have a look at Penrith and tell me if they're any different? Their outside backs are the best teams.
Shit about Penrith.
But that's the way the game is nowadays. Every single team that wins, their outside backs are the ones that have got the most meters. Their forwards are not
contribute too.
And the fact that only 2 forwards went over 100 meters, that doesn't concern you at all?
Yeah.
Of course it fucking concerns me. Our forward pack is piss weak, mate. Our forward pack is pathetic. Like they are small, they are soft, they are weak.
And
Okay,
slow.
out of our current forward pack, who would you keep for next year?
Sewer.
Only him.
Jaden Sewer, Jack DeBellin, and Blake Lawrie, of course.
Bring in the Couchman boys.
Okay, clearly you were taking the piss with that last one. Either that or you were completely insane.
What
Who's
are
Billy
you
Burns back?
Be the
What's
only
he
two
on?
that make
What
it
are
for
you on,
me. The rest can piss off when let's bring up Blake Jackson Ford or something. Even he's better than Blake Lawrie.
I've been saying since the start of the season, mate, that if 2024 is a write-off, what do we do? What are we doing with Raymond Fatala-Mara, Ben Murdoch, Masilla, even Tom Eisenhuth, who's like he made 63 tackles or something ridiculous today.
63.
It looks good on a stat sheet, but how many tackles did Tom Eisenhuth make as he's running backwards, allowing them to run over the top of him? Like, actually watch the game.
59 of those were him running backwards.
He had one missed tackle.
Yeah, but he doesn't miss the tackle. He makes the tackle, but allows them to get a quick play the ball on the back of it and puts us on the back foot.
Yeah.
Like the number of times I saw, go forward and meet the fucker. Stop standing back and waiting.
Yeah, we always wait. That happens every
No, that's
week.
Tom
That's
Eisenhuth.
The team
Lee
doesn't.
Martin
do
That's
it.
why. That's why.
correct here. Blake Lawrie.
That's why the Sharks look quick.
What's that, Hazman?
Absolutely correct.
Well, Blake Lawrie actually gets off his line and tries to put a shot on. That's when he misses the tackle. That's when he misses tackles by actually getting up off the defensive line and trying to put a shot on. Like he gets up in the face of the defense. To answer your
question, Donnie,
why are we always waiting for the team?
I think that the problem lies in the bodies we've got. You look across the board at teams and the size of the props, the mobility of the props, how they can run 10, 15 metres, hard to make those metres. Assault on a motor, is it from Melbourne, Fanua Blake, I mean, the list can go on. Having one or two bodies like that can make 10, 15 meters at a time, just their bodies. In years gone past, Papali'i in Canberra, Tarpany, Big T, your man, he's injured at the moment. Times. We lack players like that. We really lack.
So how do you pronounce it, Big T?
Fa'asuma'awi.
Yeah, that one.
Hang on, for the lip readers amongst us, go again.
Fa'asuma'awi.
All right, proceed, Rob.
So there's
I'm
eight
saying
syllables to that, right?
we generally lack that big bopper, one or two maybe, but one player that makes that inroads. It's about every time he runs up the ball, maybe giving a mistake here or there, but we really lack that player. And that's a big thing in a team. I'm not saying one player makes the whole team, but for us to have that style of player, maybe even one or two, would make a bit of a difference to our pack. Having Sewer and DeBellin and a few of the better forwards will make a huge difference to our team. But where do you get them from? Who do we get? Who can we attract? I really worry for our team, our club, 25, 26, because we look like we're just living for today, not for tomorrow. I don't even know if there's a plan in place, for what players. I mean, I heard Trent Robinson the other day. He's on the front foot. He's already looking at who he's going to get for the players that they're going to leave. So again, I bang on about the Shane Richardson and Gus Gould, type figure at our club. Maybe we need somebody like that to help Shane Flanagan to attract players, because it doesn't seem to be happening at the moment. And, we're nearly towards the middle of 2024, and we don't even seem like we're selling any players for 25 or 26 that are coming off contract.
So Lisa Marie Cooper's got the answer here. Bring back Dusty. Bring back.
It was the only comment I didn't put up on the screen. Fair income. I am loving sitting here tonight, and I love our fans and the people in the comments that are. I could seriously sit here, and everyone else can shut the hell up, and we'll just read the comments from everybody else, because there is so much good stuff in there from everyone. That every comment echoes what all of us are thinking and feeling, and it's incredibly frustrating sitting here at the moment and trying to work out what the hell is the plan? What is it we're trying to achieve? And even though I'm pretty proud of the boys, I'm pretty proud of how they went out there today and had a red hot crack. Not saying that I'm not, but in terms of working out where we're going for the future, Jaden Sewer uncontracted, Jack DeBellin uncontracted, Tyrell Sloan uncontracted, Zach Lomax is leaving. They're all players that potentially you could use to build a club around, and we don't know if they're going to be here next year. The players that are going to be here next year, why are they here next year? There's not too many that are confirmed and definitely going to be here next year that you want. Nate Battershaw mentioned one, Luciano Leilua. I think we're pretty happy with the way he's going. But apart from that, I don't know. There's a bunch of old guys that you can't really build a club around. Like Ben Hunt seems to be the guy, and Jack Bird. They seem to be the two guys that Shane Flanagan wants to build the club around. They are done. Their best is behind them. These aren't guys that you build towards a premiership with. These are guys that are on the way out. You need somebody else to replace them. So it is very, very frustrating. Now, just to close out the Mad Dragons podcast player of the year, the other player that tied for third in the voting was actually my man of the match, Tyrell Sloan. Personally, I was disappointed that more people didn't recognise his contribution in this game. It wasn't your typical performance from Sloane where he scores a remarkable long-range try and gets on the highlight reel, but he came up with 3 to 4 try-saving one-on-one tackles after line breaks from the Sharks, and if not for that, well, that was still a tackle. It wasn't a trip. It wasn't penalised. So fucking who cares? Fuck the trip.
That's right.
Like if it wasn't for that trip, we're behind by more. If it wasn't for Tyrell Sloane, we lose that game by 30 plus.
I reckon so.
I also thought in attack he got his hands on the ball a lot more. Was a genuine ball playing option, and while he set up one of Brothers' tries, it was a bit clunky and it does need a bit of work and a bit of refining, but it was good to see him actually getting his hands on the ball more. I loved the greater involvement, and I saw something that looked a bit like a longer-term plan in terms of what we're going to do with Tyrell Sloane. I thought Sloane was our best, and I didn't think it was close. I thought for the 2 and the 1 votes, you could have picked another dozen names from a hat. But Sloane, for me, was... I thought he was clearly the best on the ground.
I think one thing too, Sloaney did that people might have noticed was he really ran it up with intensity when he was running the ball back, Donny. I really noticed that he was running up with some vigour and hitting the line hard when returning the ball as fullback. So he's obviously really growing now with what Flanagan wants him to do, without doubt. Really, really now, I guess, ticking the boxes for what Flanagan wants him to do, play harder. And I was very impressed. He was running it back really hard, and he was getting hit hard, but he's running it back hard. So that takes him.
I didn't see him get dominated too many times. I thought he did have a genuine crack, and again, normally when Sloane gets man of the match, it's on the back of one play where he runs 90 metres and scores a fantastic try, and he gets a couple of votes from people. But I thought today he actually rolled up the sleeves. What did he finish with stats-wise, Jesse, in terms of metres?
Sloane?
Yeah. He had 160 odd metres, I think.
145.
14 runs, 140, 14 tackles, 3 missed.
Contact. 1 line break assist, 1 offload.
You say 14 tackles for a fullback?
Yeah.
14 tackles for a fullback.
Yeah, that's
Three.
unbelievable for a fullback, 14 tackles.
Yeah, that doesn't say much about the rest of our fucking team, though, does it? The fact that your fullback's going to make 14 tackles.
That was
you're on 10, by the way.
Imagine how many more tries I could have scored then.
I've been counting this shit. You're on 10. You passed me now.
That one he made on Nico Hines was a try.
14
that was
tackles,
a
wow,
beauty.
Yeah, Shammy didn't take his
He had
foot
to
off
make
the
so many
process.
tackles. He had to make so many tackles because Cole Flanagan missed 5, Hunt missed 6, Marlowe missed 5, Saw missed 4, and Laurie missed 4. So that's why he had to make so many tackles, because they were missing
No
all
one in
over
the
the
front
park.
line were doing their job.
Hunt missed 6 and Flanagan missed 5. I mean, your halves are missing by 11 tackles between them.
Well, Jacob Little made 50 as well.
That's an incredible stat. 14 tackles for the fullback.
Yeah,
That's
53 with 3 missed.
That's incredible. That shows you then.
And he went off for 15 minutes with a HIA.
We're a bit shit then. We're lucky we didn't lose one more.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck is Fords doing?
Cronulla weren't great. We just were poor.
Well, yeah, I don't think we were poor either. I said that in the beginning. I don't think we were poor. I don't think the Sharks were poor. I don't think we were great. I don't think the Sharks were great. I think it was an average game of rugby league, and in the end, the better team came away with the points. The Sharks were just slightly better than we were.
We just couldn't execute our last tackle plays.
Again,
I mean, overall, they're probably a higher quality team than we are, and the better team won.
First versus 12, and we only got done by 10.
Yeah.
You know, my prediction on Tuesday was considerably more than that. So,
Gotta be happy.
You know, all in all, wasn't that bad of a game, I didn't think.
But yeah, I don't think they're in the same category as the Roosters, though. But I know it's back-to-back weeks, but from what I've seen, the Roosters are yards ahead of the Sharks, and there's still question marks on them whether they're a true contender. Yes, we were poor. We went down to them today, but yeah, I know it's not really about them, but I just don't think that they're still not quite there as a team yet. But yeah.
Who gives a rat's ass about the Roosters? That was last week, mate. The Sharks. What did the Sharks beat us by last year?
50,
What did the Sharks
50
beat us
pretty
by
much.
last year? By about 50. What did Penrith beat us by last year?
8.
Were the Sharks better than Penrith last year?
No.
No. Well, why are you making that comparison? Well, it doesn't freaking matter, mate. It doesn't matter how much the Roosters beat us by and how much the Sharks beat us by. At the end of the day, the best teams will shine at the back end of the year. I think the Sharks were okay today. I don't think they were bad. I don't think they were any worse than they've been in any other week. We played okay, but we weren't good enough to beat them. I think that's what it comes down to. We'll move into some moments of the match. You're on the Mad Dragons podcast, brought to you by Complete Warehouse Solutions. Hasman, I'll start with you. Well before the game started, there were shots of Shark Park underwater. Did you think there was a chance of relocation or postponement of the game due to the poor and dangerous conditions of the swamp?
No. And I'll tell you why. Because we were forced to play at that Cronulla of the North, Newcastle, a few weeks ago. The conditions were exponentially worse, and we still played. So I don't think there's any way in hell that this game is going to do anything except go ahead as normal. Never going to happen.
Yeah. All right. Before we do proceed into the next moment of the match, I did say I was going to read out Dre Cruikshank's 3-2-1s and some of his thoughts around the game as I guess a bit of a thank you for jumping in. He sent through. He said Jaden Sewer. He gave him the 3. A real heart out there. Played a solid 80 minutes. Jack DeBellin with the 2 limited minutes was really effective in defence as usual, and a few good runs as well. Tough to pick for the 1. He was deciding between Eisenhuth and Sloan for the 1. I thought Tom was in every tackle tonight with only a couple missed. Sloan a few great tackles for try saves as well, but wasn't really there for us offensively as much as normal. That was his thoughts on the game, and thank you very much, Dre, for giving us your thoughts and jumping in and helping us out when we had a couple of absentees. Jesse, moving into staying with moments of the match, Jack Bird celebrated his 150th game, and while it was all quite emotional, his jersey of this occasion was presented by a bloke who played over 100 games for the Sharks and 0 for the Dragons in Luke Lewis. Did you think this was a poor choice by Flano and the club, given we were playing against the Sharks?
Yeah, I probably would. I mean, I can see what the reasons why Flano got Louis in to do the presentation. He played alongside him in his debut. I was there when they won the comp, both in the same side back in 2016. But as you said, he's playing for the Dragons now. He should have been presented by one of his mates that played with him growing up, or one of his coaches that coached him in 20s, or one of his close mates. But no, yeah, not a legend from another team. I mean, don't get me wrong, Luke Lewis was a great player during his time, but I think it should have come from a Dragons great, or someone that he played along, or someone that was close to him, maybe one of his family members or something like that. But I tend to agree. Why bring someone that won a comp with the Sharks and the Panthers, and that had nothing to do with our club, and bring him inside the four walls of our club to do that?
Jesse, it's a crock of shit, man. Nothing against you, mate. I mean, you got Mark Coyne that helps out with the Dragons, a legend of the club. Get Coyne to give him the jersey. We've got plenty of players.
He's got his family members
that have been legends for us, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
got
but
to
it's not about the Dragons, Rob. It's about Jack Bird. I mean, Luke Lewis was there when Jack Bird played his first game, so to hand him his jersey for his 150th, I guess that makes a little bit of sense. For me, if we were playing anybody other than the Sharks, I would have been all for this. Like, Luke Lewis was there for his debut. Why? I think it's great to get a guy in that was there for his debut to hand him his
great, mate.
150th
But
jersey.
I just,
We're playing against the Sharks. You can't get a Sharks legend in to present his jersey when we're playing against Cronulla. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, I don't think you need a Dragons legend.
I could have a Dragons legend give a player for a milestone.
I'm surprised you didn't ask Paul Gallen.
I don't get it. To be honest with you. I mean, you might as well
I think it's stupid to say that it should be a Dragons legend that he doesn't know coming in to give him his 150th jersey. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. It's got to be somebody that's important. Jack Bird doesn't know who freaking Mark Coyne is. Jack Bird doesn't give a shit about who Mark Coyne is. It should be about Jack Bird, not who the Dragons like. Like, it should be about Jack Bird, somebody that's important to him, getting him with that jersey.
Why wouldn't Flano give him the jersey?
100% agree.
He's basically Flano's love child.
100% agree, Big T.
Why not? Or
someone that coached him in junior footy.
Yeah.
Should have maybe Dean Young. Dean Young coached him in juniors.
But I was also going to say that was like what we did for Jesse Bromwich. We allowed him to have his 300th game presentation at our ground. So are we just soft?
And Daly Cherry Evans too.
Are we just soft? Like, fuck every other team. Hang on, is it after 9:30 yet? No, not quite.
Yeah, I don't know whether Steve Maskell is sharing us to his live radio show anymore, but
I don't think he is actually.
Nah. You're not getting a second call up. No, I definitely thought it was again. If we weren't playing the Sharks or the Panthers this week, Luke Lewis, I think is fine to bring him in as a guy that he played with in his first game to present the jersey. I think that's it's an interesting touch. It's not. I don't think it's the perfect person to bring in, but it's okay. But given we're playing the Sharks, absolute no for me. It doesn't look good to invite a Sharks legend into your dressing room pre-game before a derby match. I don't think that's a great idea. So I don't agree with that. Big T, the opening 10 minutes was very back and forth with neither team taking any chances. Do you think this was both teams sort of playing to the conditions, given it was a little bit wet, or simply a lack of the necessary daring from our side?
Yeah, I don't think it was. Lee's side showed daring in the first 10, 15 minutes. It was just back and forth. I think it was set for set going for a little while there, but I think it was just a settling in period, and then the Sharks went off, and then Dragons sort of struck back a bit later.
Yeah, we were a little surprised by that, Big T. I mean, given we just come off being hammered, did you think we might have come out with a bit of fire and brimstone and tried to prove a point?
Oh, yes and no. I've seen a lot of fire coming out of our club there for a while, and with like I think the set meters, we made 42 meters per set, and the Sharks only made like 32 or something. Sharks made 37, we made 42, so we were up there in the moving forward.
Well, that must have turned around, because heading towards half time, it was the other way around.
Yeah, but we made 42, I think it was.
Yeah.
The Sharks made 37 meters per tackle, and per set we made 41. So
okay, because I remember the stat coming up on the screen on Channel 9. It was late in the first half, and the Sharks were making 43 metres and we were making 32. We were not
that
making
was
anywhere
all right.
near as many metres per set. So that obviously turned around a little bit in the second half. But Hasman, the first try, they were able to isolate Tyrell Sloan at a defender. This is not really specific to the Dragons because I see it all the time from all the teams. But why is it that teams close to the line put one of their smallest, worst defenders in such a key defensive spot? I mean, does it make any sense to you? Why do they do it?
Beats the shit out of me. No bloody ideas there.
And anyone got any ideas as to why take like one off the ruck, Tyrell Sloan standing there like a shag on a rock, and they run a couple of players in motion. Frankie Mole gets dragged out wide, and it's just one-on-one. A front rower running straight at Tyrell Sloan. How is it that situation is allowed to arise? How is it that Tyrell Sloan is tasked with being in that position? Can anyone explain what? And I say it's not isolated to the Dragons. This is something a lot of teams do. I don't know if Big T's
well, in the Dragons case,
we've
got a shit bloody defensive coach in bloody Dean Young.
There we go.
I don't think as a coach he's worth a pinch of shit. I'm glad we didn't bloody give him the top job. We'd be bloody sitting last if he'd got it.
Well, Big T, you're a big man, a big forwards man. I mean, can you explain why Tyrell Sloan's defending an A defender instead of one of our front rowers, one of our middle forwards?
Maybe our middle front row forwards are lazy and want to work on the outside a bit more.
Maybe.
But every club does. Every club puts their fullback in that position.
But why? Like, it always confuses me.
I don't understand why either.
It always seems like such a weakness.
He should be behind the line for a start. He should be looking for where the ball's going and chasing the ball across the field and coming back the other way and trying to be in the right position at the right time. But I don't understand why clubs do that. I know we never did it when I played, so yeah.
Mad Lad just says, "Love you, Bug T." I'm assuming that's you. You're Bug T.
I'm assuming that's me. I love you too, big Mad Lad. Mad Lad, I love you.
Mad Lad.
Mad Lad.
Oh, can I just say too, if anybody who's watching us, can you please go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel at the Mad Dragons Podcast, and also on X. Go there, subscribe on X at Mad Dragon Vod. So
And Instagram.
on X, that's right, on X.
Also known as Twitter for anyone who's a bit old school.
Yeah, I'm only new school. I just found it. So yeah, so get on there, subscribe and like our channels, and we can bring you much, much more.
Right. Well, we've got a bit of hate mail. Here from David Page, and I think this is more directed at me than anybody else, but I might throw up to somebody. All right, Big T. David Page says, "How can you have a sense of pride with that pathetic performance? I'm sick and tired of Flanagan with a backline set pass to a forward. Today, for the first 22 minutes, it was one out running and not much better for the rest of the game. Guys, it's not a difficult game, for goodness sake. Have a look at how Penrith, the Roosters, and Melbourne are playing. We have the players." What would you say to David's comments there in terms of, this was not a performance to be proud of, that we actually were really shit and should be a lot better?
I thought we went fairly well. It was better than last week's performance, I thought. Missed tackle's still bad. 42 last week, we missed 50. I respond to that. I thought we played well. I thought we did play well in parts. Can I also say too, we're being watched on the Seven Seas tonight too. Charlie Robinson's on the Pacific Adventure Elvis cruise. He's out there watching us on his phone or his iPad or wherever he's got out there.
Nice.
So
No,
enjoy your cruise, Charlie.
he's organised with the cruise to put it on the big screen in the main ballroom, mate.
Viva Las
How good's
Vegas.
that, mate? How good's that?
Uh-oh.
How good's
It's on
that?
the, it's on the sky deck, is it, or something? On the main deck.
Under the star. Yeah,
I hope they turned it on after Heroes and Villains.
No, they tuned in especially for that, and they just turned it off. That's all anybody wanted
I
to
loved
say.
it. I loved it.
Rated.
Do you guys think
Yeah,
that
so-
maybe there was a possibility? I thought we played much better than what we did against the Roosters. And you know how much I love Ben Hunt. And Ben Hunt's 34, turning 35.
Hang on, I'll cut you off there
We didn't lose
because
it back in the
David
first,
Page
first
isn't
bloody
wrong.
tackles. That probably helped.
well, I'll cut Rob off because that's his next question. So
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna let you loose, Rob. I know you're rich into the game. You're like a greyhound, just scratching. You're ready to get out. But I'm gonna let you loose here in a minute. Where am I up to? Yeah, that was a try. Rob's next. Rob, not too long after, Ben Hunt, he threw a beautiful pass to Michaeli Ravalawa, and Ravalawa went in untouched. But I know you don't want to praise Hunt's performance in this game, but rather question it. So take it away, mate.
Oh, look, obviously, there's no doubt you can't question that result from Hunt, the pass, went in, but I would have thought that you would maybe look at it and it was
There was
sort of
79
going
other minutes in the game, though, mate. Focus on the rest of it.
But yeah, I mean, look, I just thought we were in it all game, except towards the end of the game. But Hunt's last tackle options and his performance, kicking, I don't know, short game, kicking game, long kicking game. I mean, the commentators were saying, even one stage there, pin him down in a corner, the Sharks down in a corner. It's just not good enough. It's not good enough for a player that's getting $900,000 a year. He's meant to be our chief playmaker. The man who's going to lead us to the finals maybe next year or the year after. I'm seeing father time in this guy. And I think, to be honest with you, a big call, but I think he ruined our chances today of winning the game. I actually thought he was terrible. Absolutely woeful. I echo Hasman's views as well too. And I really think we could have won the game if he was a bit better than what he was. His kicking and last play options for the fair percentage of the game were absolutely despicable, to be honest with you. So I've had enough of the guy. I'd rather get in a younger halfback in the next year or the year after that. We can build a team around. But maybe Flannery's not going to do that. Obviously, he just loves this guy. So I don't get it. The father time gets the best of a player. So, watch this space, Dragon supporters, because you've got a 34-year-old turning 35 beginning next season. He ain't going to make the difference to us making the finals. And in these days, you'll make the top four anyway to truly, to have a real good shot at winning the grand final. I mean, Donnie, you might know the stats, but I don't know of a team that hasn't made the top four. I don't know how many years it is that's gone on to win the grand final. So it's not going to happen with Hunt.
Not in the NRL era.
It's not going to happen with Hunt.
Win it, not so much. I think Parramatta made it from outside the top four. There's been a couple of teams that have made the grand final, but I can't remember the last one that won one.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're not going to do it with Hunt being there. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous. I'm not saying get rid of Hunt, but we've got to get someone in. He's a real decent half, maybe to play with Hunt, and go from there. But it looks like he's a golden child of Flannery's, like bloody well Jack Bird. The same thing with Hook with Mbai. I mean, you may as well line them all up in the dressing room together because, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get Hook pumping Mbai and pumping Hunt. And Flano's going to do the same thing with Bird and Hunt. So you'd have a foursome going.
Does Bird go back to 14 next week?
It's just ridiculous. But it doesn't change with the Dragons, does it? What are we going to do?
Well,
what are we going to do to
I
improve?
just want to throw over to Hasman because there was a comment from James Savage saying he hasn't seen Flano kick for the last few weeks, and Hasman has actually responded in the comments with exactly what I was going to say. So I'll throw over to you in terms of Flano's kicking game.
I mean, James says, I haven't seen Flano kick since we played the Titans, and that worked quite well. Well, I only saw one kick from Flano today, and that gave the Sharks a 7-tackle set, and it wasn't a close one. It was always bloody going out in goal. Always. He put way too much on it. And, yeah, it was – I mean, if you want to know why Flano doesn't kick,
That's why.
that's the sort of thing that tells you why.
He always panics when he gets the ball on the last tackle. Have you noticed? He looks, where's Ben Hunt? I better get the ball to him. Every single
because
time.
Ben Hunt's basically told him on the 5th tackle, get it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
You know,
too
if
scared
Flano's
to
in a position where he can't
Basher.
do that,
What he
he bloody
said.
shits himself because he doesn't know what to bloody do.
That's what he
His
said.
job is
If you don't give me the
he's meant to
ball
kick
on the
too.
last tackle, I'll bash you. No, true. It's true.
Or two,
Well, that's-
five,
I
eight,
see
eight,
Lisa
eight,
Marie Cooper's comment there about Hunt. I mean, Lisa Marie Cooper, I love you. I think you're very knowledgeable in the game. But there's always a player out there. Explain to me, how does South get Lewis Dodd?
Well, they
How does
haven't.
South get
They went
Lewis
to
Dodd
England. Yes, it
haven't
happened
yet.
today, Donny. It happened today.
It's confirmed.
It's
How
confirmed.
did they
today.
get Lewis Dodd?
They
We
got
were
him.
interested in Lewis Dodd, and South get Lewis Dodd. And South are now what?
Well, have you seen Lewis Dodd play in the NRL, Rob?
Not in the
have you
NRL,
seen?
no.
Have
No,
you seen?
Super League, no.
When was the last halfback that came from England? And
Okay.
like
Well, I'll
big
use other
name came
examples.
from
They won
England
the
and was
World Cup.
successful.
How does
Last
West
year
Tigers
against
get
Canberra.
Tommy
Luai
Bishop.
to
He
go
won
to
the
the
game.
West Tigers? How does other teams get certain players to go to their club? Why can't we
How does
attract the
Penrith
top
get
half?
David Fafita? How?
Well, the
Come
Well, they haven't.
the Raiders go to England. It
That's-
works for them.
Does it? How many premierships have the Raiders won?
But they develop good players from out there.
Have
They
they?
bring some good players from over there, yeah.
Okay.
How good was Elliot Whitehead the other night?
Well, Elliot Whitehead's been in for 10 years now.
And that
No,
Morgan
we
Smith
want-
has
we
been a
don't-
good pickup, so there are good players over there.
Oh, that's. Oh, James Gray, he's got me. He's got me.
What about Gareth Widdett? Remember him?
Yeah, good player.
Yeah, he was in Australia from when he was bloody 10.
Still counts. He's still a pommy.
Doesn't count. He qualified for England. He wasn't from. He wasn't developed in England. He was developed in Australia.
I think that the whole issue is that everybody makes out, how are we going to replace Ben Hunt? There's no one out there and all that. How did the Tigers get Galvin? How does Sam Walker go to the Roosters? Yeah,
Galvin was born in Campbelltown. He's always been at the Tigers.
It was a Parramatta.
No.
Junior.
No. He was not a Parramatta junior. He was born and raised in Campbelltown. He's lived in Campbelltown his entire life. He is a Tigers junior. He played 1 year for Parramatta. He was not a Parramatta junior. He is a Tigers junior. That's
Well, how
they
do
got
these teams get? Why did Luke Brooks go to Manly? Explain that to me.
He was at the Tigers for too long. He needed a change.
Yeah,
was-
but is he a good player to mentor off Cherry Evans to
He
take
is.
over for him possibly one
He's
day?
playing a much better role with Cherry Evans, learning off one of the best halfbacks in the game.
So where is the Dragons?
No
Why
pressure on
can't
him.
we get a top half to come in to mentor off Ben Hunt? You know what I
There
mean?
isn't
I-
anyone
I-
out there.
Mate,
I didn't
there
say
there is.
you're
I actually disagree with you there, Jesse. I agree with Rob.
Is Sam Walker coming off
Plenty out
contract?
There's
He
plenty.
said he doesn't want to leave the Roosters. He does not want to leave the
Sure, but is
Roosters.
he coming off contract?
Okay,
Not till 2025.
he doesn't want to leave the Roosters. Okay, the Roosters offer him, I don't know, $1 million a year. The Dragons offer him $2 million a year. Does
won't
he
come.
still? Oh, I don't want to leave the Roosters.
I don't think
Like-
he's
So then we're stuffed.
Absolute crap, Jesse. I mean, if I got off, like, I love my job. I love where I am right now. If I got offered double the money tomorrow, I'd say, see you later, boss. I love you. Like, you're a fucking top bloke. I think you're an absolute legend, but I'm getting double the money over there. I'm leaving.
So that's all we're going to do. You
We
got
offered
someone
that to
huge money.
Manu. He said no.
Money. Huge money to come to us.
I get what you're saying, Jesse. We offered overs to Manu, and he said no. So he should never do it again. Quick, just give up. Let's go and sit in the corner. Let's go and sit in the corner. Let's give up. Don't just sit here. No. We're not playing anymore. Is that where we're at, Jesse? We just give up? We just stop trying? Is that what you're saying, Jesse? We give
No, I'm
up?
not saying that.
Well,
I
what
don't
are
know
you saying?
what do we
Well,
do
if we
to
stop
attract
trying to
players?
get players, what is it you're saying?
Why can't we get players to our club? I
don't know. But stopping
to.
trying to get players is not the answer, surely. Surely we have to keep trying to get players.
Besides, what's his name? The guy we just got from North Queensland for a record, whatever it was. Ben Hunt was our biggest signing, wasn't he? 1.3 million or 1.2 million back in 2000.
He's the club's biggest
17.
signing.
So we've not really ever got a massive signing post Ben Hunt in the similar type. You see where I'm coming from?
Hunt was the biggest signing the club has ever had.
Yeah, so
I
that's
think
a
he's our first $1
record
million player.
type. Yeah, like what Donnie's saying. So maybe that's what we've got to do to get a fish out of water. I mean, Trev Robinson was quite clear the other day that they'll be looking at players. I mean, it mightn't be players, and I know all this. You can't talk to players and all this, but obviously they do. And yeah, I mean, I know it's the Roosters.
They'll be hard to compete with.
Well, we also paid, just responding to Matt Hasler's comment there on the screen, we also paid overs for Corey Norman, and that worked out very well.
He was cool with white powder.
Well, it's going to be hard to compete with the Roosters. They've got $4 million to spend next year to buy players. They're losing Crichton, Maria Hargreaves, Manu, Suoliti, Kiri. We've got $3 million. How are we going to compete with the Roosters to get players? And there's not a lot of players out there that we can chase for next year. There's no big name forward or some big name outside backs. Where do we go? Emerson Blueburn. What, peanuts? Too many peanuts, Tasman?
He was a straight swap for the great Eddie Blacker, wasn't he? Like, how good's Eddie Blacker, Hasman? Where's he playing now?
One NRL game.
Where's Eddie Blacker playing now?
Who the hell's Eddie Blacker?
Well, that's what we paid to get Billy Burns. He must be. If we overpaid,
Since
and he must have played. Eddie Blacker must have played 100 first grade games by now, surely.
So I'm going to give everybody the
Everyone.
real shits now, and I'm going to say to everybody, doesn't it pay to have a Gus Gould at your club or a Shane Richardson that can attract players to come to your team? Have somebody who's really high profile that can attract players, that has a special ability to be able to get players to come to your club. Jesse, roll off the Bulldogs players that Gus Gould's got that have come over from Penrith.
Crichton, Kikau, Burton. You can look. Addo Carr's been a good buy over the years. Bronson Sherry's been a handy pickup. Kurt Mann, Jamin Salmon, and they're on the up. They're 8th. And they're improving every week. And I wouldn't be surprised if they play finals footy this year. We play them after the
Luai was Shane Richardson was a big help to get Luai to go to the West Tigers. I'm not saying that the individual players can make a huge difference, but for us, the Dragons, we need a couple of players. We just don't seem to have the recruitment to be able to bloody attract players.
Yeah.
Was there some truth in
don't-
Scott Fulton coming, or is that all bullshit in the recruitment?
It's just a
Don't
rumor.
know, mate.
at
I
this
haven't,
stage.
I haven't heard any, I haven't heard anything for a couple of weeks. But watch this space. We've got the guy that we've got in recruitment. It's only just started. He only started this year. I mean, surely you give
Shane
him.
Millard.
You give. Oh, I know the guy's name, but I'd give him a bit of a chance. Give him a bit of a chance.
Give him an opportunity, but I mean, you know, when you're talking about a Gus or a Richo or whatever.
But Shane Millard in recruitment is like he doesn't have the name of Scott Fulton, but he's got just as many contacts. He's just as likely to be successful as a Scott Fulton is. So like I'd say just give him a chance. He's a good guy. He's got a good relationship with a lot of people. He's not what we've had in the past. He's not Craig Young that player managers won't talk to. So I think,
and he's worked with a lot of young guys coming through our system for many years. He was the SG ball coach for many years, so he knows what to do to get the players to the club, and he knows how our systems work. He knows the club.
James Gray doing the research on Eddie Blacker saying he's playing at the North Devils in Brisbane. A few people thought he was still at Penrith. No, Penrith had him.
Let him go.
And Penrith worked out he was lazy and never going to play in the NRL, so they let him go. Now he's back playing in the Queensland Cup. So we actually got the better end of that trade between Billy Burns and Eddie Blacker. Billy Burns was 100%. Not even close. Billy Burns is a better player. He's still in a top 30 system. Eddie Blacker is not. Eddie Blacker was always lazy. He was never going to play first grade. The Dragons knew that. They got a bloke that was capable of filling in at first grade from time to time. Not a very good player, but
filling in from time to time.
Your favourite?
Was never my favourite. I just said he was.
I'll put my hand up. I thought he was going to be the next Beaver Menzies, the way he used to run the ball at the holes. He just needed a 5/8 to give him the ball. Like in reserve grade,
he wasn't even the next Jackson Ford.
You're right. You're right there, Big T. All he needed was Cliffy Lyons, and we didn't have. That was the problem.
Exactly right.
That was Billy Burns' problem. Is he didn't have Cliffy Lyons, and he doesn't have Cliffy at the Sharks either. So he's screwed there.
You raise a good point.
But how could you make that side?
There were 8
We need
Sharks.
Light Bulb back. We need Neil Teeney back. We need Corey Pearson back. There's some players.
Luke Bailey.
Michael Wayman.
Luke Bailey.
Okay. Well, actually, while we are going back in time, that might be a good segue into my beer. I was trying to work out how to work this in, but because you guys were going back in time, I think absolutely perfect. My beer of the week. An oat cream, and I'm not sculling this. I guarantee you I'm not sculling this. An oat cream IPA from Mountain Culture. And talking about going back in time, it is called Betamax.
Percentage, Johnny. Is it a full straight?
The percentage. Let's bring it up. Where's the percentage? There we go. 7.5%.
Oi!
It is.
Cleans out your system as well too. You'll be going well tomorrow.
It is 3 standard drinks, and I've got myself a little pint glass here as well. So I'll pour this one into the pint glass before we.
Happy days.
What's your theme today?
Glass in any other state, Donny?
Well, we're going back in time. Yes, that's everyone was talking about all the old players. Now the Dragons need to go back in time and get some of these blokes. So we're going back to the days of the Betamax. And
with the man Mundine, Nathan Blacklock, we'll take him as well too. What about Slippery Morris? We'll have him.
And his 2 boys.
Mick O'Connor.
Yeah. Well, it is. I do love an oat cream IPA. 7.5%. I've got there's a double in there. that I got from Mountain Culture. I got myself a tube of 500 ml cans, and it's out in Emu Plains. So if you're in that region out in Sydney's west, there's not too many other reasons to go to Emu Plains, but Mountain Culture is certainly one. Head out that way, and it's probably my favourite brewery in all of Australia. It's an absolute ripper.
Hey, Donny, have you heard the song? You're a piss pot, true and true.
He's about
not a doubt in my wife's mind, mate.
Down.
Yeah, I'm not sculling a 7.5% 500 ml can, mate. That's not happening. I'm not 20 anymore. You might have been able to talk me into it. You might have been able to talk me into it.
Not 21 anymore.
I feel older than I actually am, so thanks for that.
You did that, Donny. You'd make less sense than an Anthony Griffin press conference.
You got to remember, it has been Anthony Griffin balls the dead.
Mr. Griffin, the school teacher.
Right, Jesse, right on half-time, Tyrell Sloan put Rubber in for his second, and Lomax kicked the goal from the sideline. Even though the Sharks would have the benefit of the breeze in the second half, did you think we're in a position where we should win from there?
Not yet. 10-6, that's not a winning lead in any game of football. I knew we still had to compete and go hard and look to put the Sharks away. That by any means, 10-6 is not a winning lead, and the Sharks, being the side they are, they do have a lot of points in them. But in the conditions that were there today, they had to keep going and get a bit of a gap on them, because we're not a side that can defend a lead. We just got to keep going and put the foot on the throat. And I was actually really surprised to see us have the lead. The Sharks had a lot of ball in that first half, and to us getting the lead at half time was remarkable. And good to see Rabble get a double in his return game.
Absolutely. It's amazing he moves over to the right side of the field, or the correct side of the field. and all of a sudden he scored 3 tries in 2 games when he's been in the right spot. But I don't know. I'm not the coach. So we'll let Shane Flanagan do his thing there. A big team. Talakai scored to put the Sharks in front. But it was really slick attack from the Sharks to get their big man one-on-one with Hunt. Do you think that Hunt and the players around him should have done better, or did you just think that it was too good for the Sharks? Too good from the Sharks, and we have to let that one slide?
There was a couple of tries that the Sharkies scored that I thought, all you've got to do is get hold of that ball and get under it. Like, Ben Hunt could have got under that ball. He could have got trapped down in his knees. There was... That's all I should tell all my backs, all my outside backs. They've got to get between the ball and the ground. That's all you have to do. And Talakai was just too strong. And look, I was saying before, the Sharks have got such an awesome bench. Talakai, Rudolph, Heminuele. You're not going to stop any of those guys that close.
Yeah. Personally, watching it live, I remember reacting. Instinctively reacting, being pissed off at Ben Hunt, but then watching the replay and going, that's just too good from the Sharks. Like the timing of where everyone was running, the players in motion, like it just dragged everyone where they wanted them to be, and it left Talakai one-on-one with Ben Hunt. And what the fuck is Ben Hunt going to do one-on-one with Siosifa Talakai? Like he's not going to stop him. Hunt put his body in front of him, did his best, but he wasn't. Never going to stop him from that close.
Who were our forwards that stopped him?
Yeah, but it was. Again, look at the subtlety of the play from Nick. But the subtlety of the play from Nico Hines just dragged the forwards that way, and just left Ben Hunt by himself. So it was.
Zach Lomax was there too, but Lomax wouldn't have stopped him either.
Well, Lomax was trying to get in there and trying to get a grip and trying to get an angle, but again, it was Talakai was too big, too strong, and it was just too good from the Sharks.
It was.
That's one of those situations where you have to just go, there's not much you can do there. Like that's what every team is trying to do. That's it.
Right.
Every team is trying to manufacture. They're trying to manufacture that big guy one-on-one with one of the halves, and the Sharks managed to do it, and they did it perfectly. It was just too good.
Yep.
Hasman, I was mostly proud of the effort and application, but with under 3 minutes to go, and this is a long-winded question, so settle in. Under 3 minutes to go, the Sharks got a penalty goal that I felt actually gave us a last-ditch opportunity to try and win the game. 3 minutes to go, short kickoff, we get the ball, score a try, the clock stops. We get the ball back from the kickoff, we score another try, we win the game without the Sharks ever getting the ball back. I understand that it's very unlikely to have actually happened, but when we kicked long from that next kickoff with 3 minutes to go on the clock behind by 10 and didn't even try, I mean, what were your thoughts on that decision from the Dragons to not even have a crack to try and win the game from that situation, however unlikely it was?
Donnie, do you have the bleep button ready?
No. Go.
Right.
It's friggin' no one's even watching it anymore. There's only 157 eyeballs, whatever.
Well, my precise thoughts at that point were along those same sort of lines. Like I basically, was saying to, because I was up watching at the local, I was basically saying, okay, 3 minutes to go, you're fucking 10 points down. Why the hell wouldn't you go for a short kickoff? At least give yourself a chance. There's no point in just, booting it to the, bloody 10-meter line and trying to force an error. You got to get the bloody ball back from the kickoff. You don't have time for that shit. Like it just proves what a piss poor fucking game manager Ben Hunt is. For him to not basically say, okay, let's try a short one, see if we can get the ball back, see if we can make something happen. No, boot it as far as you can. We'll see what happens. Bloody stupid.
Yep. I think you did well there, mate. You hardly swore at all, and well, I think you barely got your point across. I don't think anybody understood what you were getting at, but maybe if you'd sworn a couple more times, so they might have got the point. But anyway, you have your opportunity. You've missed it.
I'll give it a crack. It was fucking dumber and dumber. I mean, you got 3 minutes to go. You got to try and win the game. What are you going to do? Give it to the ball boy and say, "Hey, ball boy, it was only 3 minutes to go. We're fucked. We lost the game." So be in it to win it. You never know. I mean, Jesse, correct me if I'm wrong. There's teams that can score within a couple of minutes, 2 tries in a couple of minutes in the NRL.
It's possible.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Melbourne did
What did South score against us, Jesse, last year? Inside that last 5 minutes.
In 4 minutes. 4 tries in 4
4
minutes.
tries in 4 minutes. That's what you can do. 4 tries in 4 minutes. We needed 2.
The Storm scored 2 in 2 minutes against the Warriors earlier this year.
But that's the difference between the game 5 years ago and the game now. If you score a try inside the last 5 minutes, the clock stops.
Yeah.
Time stops. They don't get a chance to wind the clock down by walking up slowly to the halfway line. No, the clock stops. You have all of that time. If you score with 2 minutes to go, you get the ball back with 2 minutes to go. So 3 minutes to go, we do a short kickoff. We get the ball back. We score the try. 2 minutes to go. Clock stops. Kick the goal. Maybe there's a minute and a half left. You got a minute and a half. That's a full set of 6 that we've got a chance to go down the other end.
In the game.
It's a full set of 6. We can go at the other end and potentially score and win the game. We didn't even have a go. We've just gone, 10 points.
Game's over.
That's close.
Godless.
They were accepting defeat, yeah.
Yeah. Very, very frustrating. That was probably the most frustrating thing in this whole game for me. I don't have any pre-prepared viewer questions today, but I have had a couple that I've starred throughout, and I better get to Mad Lads because Mad Lads getting quite upset. And I'll give this one to you, Jesse, because I think this is for you. New South Wales fullback, please. Thought.
It's your name's there, so it's for you, isn't it?
Yeah. Very, very cranky. Like I asked a few times through the night, and I've been waiting. And now's the time. Take it away.
I'd personally like to see it, but yeah, I don't know what the New South Wales selectors are thinking. That they're due to pick the team sometime this week. Queensland's already named their side and looks very strong. So I don't know what the New South Wales team will look like, but yeah, from for what the form we saw from Tegan Berry last year, I think she deserves the number 1 jersey. But whether or not New South Wales selectors think the same thing, we'll have to wait and see. But it's going to have to be a very strong side to beat Queensland, because playing Queensland up there at Suncorp to open Magic Round, that's going to be a big occasion, whoever they pick. But personally, yes, I'd love to see it. I don't know if it'll happen.
Yeah, three-game series this year as well. So, yeah, definitely a big opportunity for players to come in. But I guess I'll stick with you, Jess. I mean, coming into the New South Wales, the State of Origin series, before the NRLW, before there's been any chance to actually see if any of these players are in form or playing well, we don't know. We've got no idea going into a State of Origin series. Is this the ideal way for women's State of Origin to run, or should it run at a different time of the year? Yeah, I understand that. But is that correct? Is that the way it should run?
No, it should happen during the NRLW season, I think. Because last year, I remember game 1, they played at Combank at Parramatta, and there was that 20 errors in the whole game. It was very lackluster. There's no New South Wales Premiership this year. Not all the Sydney girls have made the move to Queensland and play in the competition up there. So they're going in with pretty much no football, and they're not in pre-season with their NRLW club. So, yeah. So the Queensland girls will have an advantage.
Yeah, I think that's
Queenslander.
Well, I know there will be a lot of New South. There will be a lot of New South Wales girls playing in that Queensland comp, but I agree with Jesse that it does give them a bit of a leg up. And man, it's like everything in the rugby league today. It all seems to be geared towards giving an advantage to Queensland. Would you agree, Big T, that Queensland's not genuinely winning games anymore?
Totally.
They're actually they're just been given a leg up by the administration. Queensland is effectively cheating.
Who cares how you win? Who cares?
New South Wales very hard done by.
You win. Penrith for one. Who
God.
cares? Who cares how you win? A win's a win. Penrith have been doing it for years. So yeah.
Big T.
So who cares?
Big T.
Queenslander.
Big T. Origin. Big T.
Big T. Big T. Can I just say something,
Yes.
Donnie?
Yes.
I have to warn you. Twice now you said to Jesse, give a leg up. Now, he'd really love those girls to give him a leg up.
Oh, come on.
Pardon the pun.
Just for you, Rob.
Dragons podcast.
Donnie's led you on to something here, Jesse.
Yeah.
You're a really good
We've just
plan
been
there.
cancelled. We've just been cancelled.
It's a leg up, not a leg. It's a leg up, not a leg
Edit.
over, mate. But
Yes, correct.
That's PDA.
I can't get in the trouble.
all right. Who else have we got a question from? Big T. Big T, James
Yes,
Savage wants to know, is Ronaldo Muatalo the most annoying player in the NRL and deserves to be smacked in the face?
Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, I suppose I suppose he does for getting into Rava's place. I seen Rava flex up there for one of those ones, and he was going to punch him straight in the mouth, but then thought better of it. Yeah, no, yeah, Ronaldo Mulatalo's got the best soccer name in rugby league. Yeah, you should just whack him in the mouth or something. Yeah, do something. Take 4 weeks for it. Yeah, why not?
I mean, as far as wingers go, the biggest dickhead that I've ever seen. Like, the wingers should know their place. And I mean, this guy carries on like he's a front rower. He annoys the shit out of me. I agree with James Savage.
That's right.
To a degree. Yeah. He carries on way too much. Now, Rob, again, not really a question, but more going into changes to this team at the back end after this game. Bird's got to be dropped with Sully back next week. Would you agree with that? If Sully's back next week, is it Bird that goes out rather than Tuapolotu as expected?
Oh, man, I really don't know anymore with Flano because I can't work it out with his selections. Obviously, Sully's fantastic, but I mean, again, we talked about the love that Flano has for Bird. So I'll be honest with you. I think Bird will always get selected under Flano unless he's absolutely, just you cannot select him anymore. He's shocking. And we saw the same thing with Mbai with Hook, right? We were sitting here, same conversation. How the hell is he selecting Mbai still? In the 17. So, mate, unfortunately, CT might get the flick, so Bird stays in there, and Sully comes back. Maybe the last in type thing syndrome as well. So yeah, it's the best answer I can give for it. But yeah,
I'm with you, mate. I don't know what the answer is. I would like to think that what George Tez has suggested is going to happen, that Bird will drop back potentially to 14 for Manu Brown, drops back to New South Wales Cup to get some more minutes, and Bird goes into that 14 role. Sully comes into the centres, and Tuapolotu stays there. Jesse, you want to add something there?
Did Manu Brown pass his HIA today? Did he get back on, or I didn't see the last bit of the game?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I haven't seen.
I don't think he did.
I don't think he got back on, but I don't think he was coming back on regardless. So whether he passed or not, they weren't bringing him back on. So, whether he failed or not, I'm not sure. That may open up a spot in the 14. It might again give Flano a bit of an out to not piss Bird off too much by dropping him back into that 14 role. I don't know. Maybe he brings Sully on as a 14. Who knows? Who knows what he's going to do? We do have a last-minute question from that has come through in the live chat as we've been going through the viewer question. I'd love to give this one to Hasman, but I think it's probably more appropriate for Jesse. It's about Indy Bostock. Will she get an NRLW contract? She looks quite quick.
She does look quick. She looked good in the Steelers system, in the Tasha Gale system, but I think she's still a little bit young for NRLW. There are plans for her, but maybe in the coming years, but it's not happening this year. It's just a little bit young. I think you've got to be 18 to get an NRL contract. At least 17 or 18, and I don't think she's at that age yet.
Well, she was supposed to get a development contract last year, but wasn't old enough. So surely she's old enough now.
Well, according to the sources I've got, she's not. So it's not happening this year. I think she'll be on a development. That's what I've got at the moment. Development, but not in the top 24.
Okay, well, we'll take that as read because Jesse generally knows what he's talking about when it comes to the NRLW.
But
all right,
there should be more news on that soon.
It says that in the
Big
intro.
tape.
It says that in the intro. Jess knows the girls. He knows it all, mate. He knows it all.
Just the rugby league
That's a good
girls
intro
or girls
too, I
in
think.
general.
Really good
He's a bit of a player.
Any Dragons fans out there too?
Casanova.
Just while you're there, any Wollongong fans, get out to North Gong on Wednesday night. Bobby Law will be doing meet and greet, signing autographs, doing photos.
Nice.
So if you're not doing anything Wednesday night, North Gong Hotel, Bobby Law will be there at 6:30.
All right. Well, before we move into the lower grades, I might give this a bit of an opportunity for a couple of panel members that are looking to drop off and say goodbye and see you on Tuesday night. Big T, Hasman, I think you two are looking to go. Big T, I'll let you say goodbyes first.
I will say thank you very much, everybody. Unfortunately, we didn't win this week. I'll see you on Tuesday night for Behind Enemy Lines and a walk down memory lane. All right, guys. Thanks very much. See ya. Red V's a part of me.
Right, Hasman, try and follow that, I dare you.
Yeah, I think I've done my creative bit for the night with Heroes and Villains. But look, thanks for joining us tonight, and hope you enjoyed Heroes and Villains. Probably one of my better ones. And we'll see you on Teamless Tuesday, and up the big red V.
Yeah, that was shit. Hopefully you're better next Tuesday, mate. Catch you later.
I've got to sign off too, Donnie.
Good
So
night from
sorry.
me, and it's good night from him.
See ya.
Oh, Rob's going as well. It's just going to be me and Jesse to close out the show. All right. Well,
You and Jesse, and we're going to spank.
well, that'll be fun. Everyone else is signing off as well.
Just before I go,
We've got another half an hour to go yet.
just before I go, got to call out James Savage's comment just now. It's hilarious.
May the
Catch your has-been. May the Farks be with you.
Yesterday was Star Wars Day. Yes, he must be a Star
legendary.
Wars fan. You a big Star Wars
Pop
fan,
stuff,
has
Jimmy.
been?
What do
Go on,
you
mate.
think? Look at him. Of course he's a big Star Wars fan. He's a freaking rookie.
Yeah, I find our lack of coach disturbing.
Brilliant. All right, well, see you, Hasman. Rob, I'll give you the
Good night,
chance to sign off as well, and just it might be just me. Jesse will want to go after this too.
No, see you all later, everybody.
I won't leave you solo, Donnie. I won't leave you hanging.
Thanks to everybody tuning in. Thanks to Complete Warehouse Solutions. Thanks to Donnie for hosting and all the other panel. And we'll spank Souths on Saturday. Don't worry about that. I'm going to be out there. I'll be playing the didgeridoo for Latrell, and we'll win by 20 or 30 points. So I guarantee it.
It's going to be interesting. Our 2010 Premiership captain plotting against us.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that's always a hard thing, but I think we'll get the chocolates. We'll be back. We'll win on Saturday. Don't you worry about that. So everybody, be proud. Red V. We'll do it. And Donnie's going to come up with a really good video for this weekend's game as well too. So watch this space. I'm looking forward to the game day video.
He needs some inspiration after today's effort.
I think you might have to dive into the. Is got the water in the pool yet, Donnie, or is it still in the pool?
The water in the pool is poisonous, mate. Let's just.
No good.
Let's
So
just
can't do
say
that
so everything around the pool looks good, but it's the pool looks horrible, man. Like it's depressing to actually go like close. It looks good from a distance.
It'll get there. It'll get better eventually.
Yeah,
Good
mate,
night, everybody. We will win next Saturday. Have faith. We'll be back in the winner's circle. Good night, everybody. Cheers.
With that, we'll move into some lower grades chat. New South Wales Cup. First of all, we lost 26 points to 10 to Newtown. Don't have any highlights or anything of that game yet. Hopefully, we'll have some of that on Tuesday. But only 2 line breaks in the entire game, which is concerning, and I think a bit of an indication that our halves left a little to be desired, and that's my concern with this New South Wales Cup side is we don't have any depth in the halves. We don't have any halves at all. Jesse Marshke shifted to fullback in this game, so wasn't in the halves. Our two tries to Sabelio Tamale and Matt Feeney, try assists. Jesse Marshke set one of them up, and Dan Russell actually set the other try up. Back five got through a fair bit of work with all of them up over 130 metres. Max with an X. Feeney was the best with 164 metres from just 14 runs. That's 164 metres, 14 runs. So good efficiency from him with his runs. Also had the most post-contact metres and the fastest play the ball of the back five, perhaps showing that he's not quite done with his NRL career and might get a chance to come back into the top grade at some stage. Sabelio Tamale, he had 18 runs for 147 metres, so not quite as efficient as Max, but was hard to tackle, had 10 tackle busts, so he went all right. Couchman brothers, again, statistically very impressive, although I'm sure most that actually watch the game wouldn't be very complimentary about Ryan Couchman's game because he did have two errors, got stripped one-on-one and gave away a penalty. So when you combine all that together, it doesn't matter what you do after that. It's not going to be considered a good game. Still, he did add 176 metres, 5 tackle breaks, 2 offloads, 48 tackles with just 2 missed. Toby, though, was probably the better of the twins with 15 runs. So just 15 runs. How many metres do you reckon he ran in those 15 runs, Jesse?
I'll go about 150, 160.
208.
Wow.
208 metres, 4 tackle breaks, an offload, 39 tackles, 0 missed. How this bloke keeps getting overlooked for a spot in the NRL team is beyond me. Now, before I go on to talk about the Jersey Flegg, I want to do a comparison between Viliami Fafita and Josh Corrich. Both played 31 minutes in this game, and both are middle forward. So I felt it's a pretty fair side-by-side comparison. Josh Corrich, Viliami Fafita. 31 minutes. Fafita had 6 runs for 55 metres. Just 55 metres. Corrich, who's much smaller than Viliami Fafita, had 7 runs for 90 metres. So 1 more run and 35 more metres. Well, that's food for thought. Corrich also had a faster play the ball, made 7 more tackles. 7 more tackles than Fafita. Missed 0 compared to Fafita, who missed 12. I'm not suggesting Corrich is an option for the NRL. I currently don't think he is. He's more similar to Blake Laurie than anything else. Like he's a work rate player that gets through his work and does a job. He's a similar size and of Blake Laurie. He's not a big forward. He's not a guy that's going to change things for us. But he should be miles ahead of Viliami Fafita at this stage. I'm not sure how Fafita is holding a spot in reserve grade, let alone pushing for a spot in the NRL team. Jesse, honestly, I've got to think, why is it that people are still pushing for Viliami Fafita in the NRL side when he's putting up these kinds of numbers week in, week out in reserve grade?
I honestly don't know. I mean, you mentioned that, and you say that he's a big man, but you don't have any size up front. But in his limited opportunities he has had in the top grade, he's offered very little, and yeah, I think his selection is justified why he's not playing in the NRL. And you mentioned Toby Couchman, 208 metres in reserve grade over the weekend. That's more than our starting front rower combined today. That he got more metres than Francis Muller and Hame Sele combined.
That's pretty damning, man. Like that's not a first. like Toby Couchman and Ryan Couchman have been up over 150 metres or up around that sort of 150 metres every week for the last 4 or 5 weeks.
And he can't get a start.
Well, I know the New South Wales Cup side is losing, but you look at those stats, it's not because of them. So should they be considered, even though the New South Wales Cup side is not going all that well?
100% they should. You saw the efforts of our forwards today. They didn't want to cut the ball up and get our side out of trouble. You got to give blokes an opportunity that will try those things, and it wasn't good enough that our forwards didn't do that today. And you want blokes that will get in and get their hands dirty and cut the ball up and get our sets rolling and get us up the field, because making 20 metres in a set of 6, that is unacceptable at NRL level.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I think that it's a really concerning aspect of our game. What concerns me looking down at our New South Wales Cup side is the lack of impact, and that's what people see when they look at Viliami Fafita. They see a guy that they had, like, he's massive, like he towers over me.
Like when we had Josh Kerr.
Yeah, like Josh Kerr, Eddie Blacker. You sort of you go back, and there's a number of big boys that we've had at the club trying to fill that role, trying to come in and be that guy that, like Ben Murdoch, and what they're trying to replace is Ben Murdoch-Masila.
But he's
Ben
on the wrong side of
he is 30-something. We need somebody that can, but he's doing an okay job. He's coming on off the bench and having an impact. He wasn't as good today. Yeah, he wasn't as good today as he was against the Roosters, and I think it was the week before. But yeah, he wasn't as good today as he has been, but he's coming off the bench and he's having an impact, and we're trying to find that big mobile man, like a Viliami Fafita, to be able to play that role, to be able to come off the bench, play 20 minutes, make 100 metres and push the defensive line back and change the momentum of the game. So,
what about how's Tuatavaki going? I haven't heard a lot of him lately.
So he went all right today. He had 108 metres, I think, 110 metres, somewhere around there. Had a couple of offloads. Again, it's really difficult when you don't get to see the game, because this was the only New South Wales Cup game that was not broadcast. Every other game was either on Foxtel or on the New South Wales Rugby League TV app, and I've watched all the other games, but this game wasn't broadcast, so I'm only going off the stats. So it's hard to tell. But looking at the stats, it looked like he worked hard. He played decent minutes too. I think he played 50 odd, 50, 60 minutes, something like that, which is really, really good going for a big guy like that. And it made over those 100 metres and a couple of offloads and looked like he made 30 odd tackles, 32 tackles as well. So he had a pretty good game.
Yeah,
he had a pretty good game. I think he's way ahead of Fafita. If you're looking for that impact forward, you're looking for that impact front rower. I'd be going Tuatavaki ahead of Fafita.
Why is it so looking at those players?
Well, I'm sure he is. He'd be watching those games a lot more closely than we are. Stephen Bates saying Tuatavaki. I think he's talking about Tuatavaki here. Had a good run that led to the second try, so just towards the end of the game. If that again is good feedback. When you don't get to see the game, you really do rely on people that do get the opportunity to watch it. So appreciate that, Stephen. So thanks for sending that through. And
Dylan Egan was talking about in the preseason, having the talk's gotten quiet on him as well. It's gone very cold.
Yeah. Again, looking at the stats, our edge forwards didn't seem to get involved enough. Very good defensively, Dylan Egan. He's almost perfect defensively. There's not too much gets past him. He doesn't miss much, but maybe as he grows and gets bigger and fills into his body, he'll get a little bit more involved offensively, because at the moment I think that's the thing that's holding him back, is that he doesn't get involved enough in attack. So you sort of look at his attacking numbers. Mind you, I mean, what did Tom Eisenhuth do today? I don't know if you got the stats in front of you there, mate. I mean,
66.
yeah, he made a lot of tackles, but what did he do? That's exactly the same as Dylan Egan could make 66 tackles if they run at him 66 times. But what did he do in attack?
Yeah, he's not a good runner of the ball. He's just an all-out defender. I mean,
so in that respect, surely you prefer a 19-year-old doing exactly the same job.
Yeah, but is he up to the NRL standard? Well, I reckon he might get a debut for the year's out. Hopefully,
I hope so. I hope so too, because I think defensively he's up to it. I'd like to see him do more with the ball in hand before calling him up to the NRL. But I mean, while we've got a guy like Tom Eisenhuth that is only a tackling machine and doesn't actually run the ball, I don't see any reason to hold him back. Yeah. Yeah, Stephen's saying attack is poor and our back rows aren't getting a chance. So there's no ball getting out there to give them a chance to hit the edges. But anyway, we'll move on to... Sorry?
Just like the first grade team.
Yeah, pretty similar. Well, Jaden Sewer's still managing to get in and have a few runs. But the Jersey Fleet side, really disappointing loss against the Sharks. I thought they would win this one fairly easily. Lost 22 points to 16, led 10-0 after a double to Will Starling, but then gave up 22 unanswered points before scoring. Well, it says late, but not really late. It was still 20 minutes to go when Hamish Stewart scored to make it 22-16. Gave us the chance, but not sure what happened after that. We didn't score another point. Nobody scored another point. Expect some of the St George SG Ball players to come into this team next week or perhaps the week after. Once they're done celebrating their grand final success, hopefully next week against South at Cogra in front of a decent crowd. So the Jersey Fleet side playing pre-game. I'm not sure if the New South Wales Cup game is before there might be 3 grades there at Cogra next week. What do you reckon, Jess? I mean, is that something you'd look forward to?
I won't be able to attend, but yeah, that'd be good. I can't remember the last time we had a triple header on before an NRL game. So yeah, that'd be great. Hopefully the fans can get out a bit early and watch the future of our club and see if there's anyone that can push for NRL in the coming years and potentially this year.
Yeah, I'm just trying to bring up the draw to see if the New South Wales Cup side is also there. So going across to round 10.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah. All 3 grades. All 3 grades. That's pretty amazing. I'm with you. I can't remember the last time all 3 grades
on one day.
Well, for a Dragons home game, I think there was one last year or the year before at Combank, maybe against the Tigers. But yeah, I can't remember.
Be on Fox, Stephen Bates just said.
Yeah, that's fantastic as well. But I think a great opportunity for Dragons fans to get down there early to watch the under-21s. You can watch the New South Wales Cup. You can watch the first grade. Get to Cogra early. We should pack this out. You got 3 grades on one day. Dragons versus Souths. I mean, what would be your expectation, Jesse, in terms of crowds?
Well, we got 9,000 at our first game against the Cows. We've had 2 bumper crowds at win.
That was pathetic.
And then, yeah, 2 bumper crowds at win. So Cogra's got to come out and respond. I know we haven't our last 2 weeks have been disappointing, but it's a chance for us to get back in the winner's circle. Our first game at Cogra in probably 2 months. And South's just down the road. It's going to be a bit of there's going to be both teams looking to get back into form. It's going to be a good afternoon, and as you said, triple header. Going to be a good afternoon at Cogra. So yeah, starting at 12:40 with the New South Wales Cup, leading into the main NRL game at 5:30.
Yeah. No, I think that's something that the Mad Dragons podcast should promote and promote heavily. The club should promote and promote heavily. I hope Jack Clifton and the Red V podcast promotes heavily that it is all 3 grades on one day. You want 3 grades on one day back, but if you want 3 grades on one day back, get there.
I'd love to
Get
see
there.
4 grades one day.
But don't just say you want that. Don't just say you want it. Get there and support it. If there's a big crowd there for the under-21s and there's an even bigger crowd there for the New South Wales Cup game, and then it builds and that is what rugby league used to be built on. Was that building of atmosphere throughout the day. It didn't just you turn up for the NRL game and it goes from there. Like it starts from it used to start from the President's Cup, the under-23s, and then it used to go into reserve grade, and each game got louder and louder and louder, and building up to that main game. If we can do that, I don't know. I think we can bring. Maybe it's the nostalgia from me, but I think it's a fantastic opportunity.
New South Wales Cup will be the first game too on that. The Jersey Fleg's the middle game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just New South Wales Cup will be at 12:40 because the Fox will show the 3 o'clock game, so that'll be leading to the 3 o'clock game. 3 o'clock will be Jersey Flag, then 5:30 is NRL.
Oh, that's almost more reason to get down there, really, to see that the New South Wales Cup side, which is our reserve grade side, and then the Jersey Flag side potentially could have quite a few from that grand final winning SG Ball side. So, it's an exciting day. I wish I was able to attend. I'm excited by it. The prospect of being there for 3 games in one day. But one thing you're excited by, Jesse, is some of these new NRLW signings. A couple of the Tarsha Cup Premiership winning players rewarded with NRLW contracts. Tell us about it.
So yeah, as you know, the Steelers last weekend claimed the Tarsha Cup undefeated throughout the whole season, and Jamie Soward has rewarded those three of those players by upgrading them to the top 24 NRLW squad for this year. So they are Charlotte Basham, who made her NRLW debut in the final round against the Broncos last year, Casey Ray, who was the captain of that side, and Bronte Wilson. Now Bronte Wilson's is a special one. She was signed last year on a development contract. She's still just 17 years of age, but she had to get special exemption from the NRL to sign that contract and be allowed to play in the NRLW. That hasn't happened since Jesse Southwell signed as a 17-year-old with the Newcastle Knights a couple of years ago. Well, even though you've said it a couple of times on the show yourself, Casey Ray she's going to be a up and coming half, and she's going to learn off one of the best halves in the game in Racy McGregor. She's signed a 3-year deal, and yeah, she's an exciting prospect. And obviously Charlotte Basham, another one that made her debut in the final game last year, and played in the Australian Schoolgirls last year, was part of that Tarsha Girls side as well. And she's a strong back rower. I'm excited to see how these 3 all go into the NRLW side and see how much game time they get and playing against these more seasoned girls. But some good signings coming through, and good to see Soward tap into our pathway system and develop our own players.
Well, just on that, Jess, I hadn't actually planned this, but I've got the window open. I thought I might just play the grand final highlights from that Tarsha Cup grand final once again, just to highlight the players that we are talking about. I'll try and mute it as we come on. So this is the kickoff. Casey Ray, who has been signed, she knocks that one on. That's not a best moment in this grand final. She knocks on from the kickoff, and then the night score from the very first set. You look at the timepiece there; it's just a minute into this game, so it wasn't the best of starts for the Steelers in this grand final. Casey Ray punished for that. But from there, this one was Maria Paseka scoring a try. It wasn't Casey Ray putting in that little kick, but a very good try to get the Steelers back into this game. We'll try and unfortunately we've got to. We'll go back here in a minute. I'll try and fast forward back to that where we were, because it was so there's the Paseka try. Here's a great kick from Casey Ray. So Casey Ray is one of the players that has been signed. She's the one that puts that kick in there.
As good as Racine McGregor. Very pinpoint.
Absolutely pinpoint. They dropped it on a spot, exactly where she wanted to drop it. Here's Ella Costa going across. So Ella Costa already in the NRLW side. And Mia rolls Rose Bolt. Maybe a player that we will sign at some point in the future. But here's Indy Bostock's other try. We got a question about her before. Jesse, you said that she's a bit too young for NRLW just yet, but was player of the match in this game and an absolutely sensational performance. Here's the Knights scoring another try, but we'll move past this pretty quick. They go out and score in the corner. So that makes it 18 points to 8 at that stage, and I think the Knights score the next one as well. Make it 18-12, just right on half-time. The dummy half here, bit of a dodgy try. Like you look at this is a great run. The Dragons in disarray, and the dummy half goes straight from that play as the player that played the ball kind of walked straight through. One of the Dragons players, I think it might have been Charlotte Basham actually, that she walked through there and knocked over. Now, Casey Ray, that's a good run from her, just bumping a player off. So another one of those players that is signed. Casey Ray involved in that tackle as well. This one's goes across field. So this is I think a good tackle coming up here from the Steelers, and then I think it's Ella Costa in this tackle. Have a look at this one. Oh, no, that's a different play. It must be coming up in a minute. So that was... Oh, here's the tackle from Charlotte Basham. Watch this tackle.
Wow.
Wow. Unbelievable. That's 18-12. They score that try. It's 18-16 kick to come. That was Ella Costa's tackle that I was waiting for. Absolutely drives her into the core of the earth. So then it goes across, and there's the try from the Bronte Wilson, who has also been signed. And so that's pretty much all I wanted to showcase. So we may as well watch the rest of this because Hope Millard makes a great charge here, and right on full time. The full-time siren has already sounded here, and she's still trying to get a try to put the cherry on top, but it doesn't matter. They celebrate the win, and the Illawarra Steelers are victorious. But, I guess a few more players there that we looked at, Jess. Is there any other players that you think maybe might get an NRLW gig? Or are we done?
There's still more spots to fill. Obviously, there's still a bit of time between now and when they turn the preseason. I think it's actually a few weeks away. They return to preseason, so just have to watch this space and see what Jamie Soward is looking for. But you mentioned Leanne Tafuga would be a handy pickup, not for this year, but potentially for next year. And I just looked at some stats too. When we last won the Tasha Girl Cup in 2019, we had 3 players picked from that side to go to the NRLW, and they're now in our current squad, which was Tegan Berry, Keely Browner, and Maddie Weatherall. And they're now, all of them are part of our squad. Is that going to be the same case for Charlotte Basham, Bronte Wilson, and Casey Ray? Like, are they going to be as good as those 3 players?
Well, Ella Costa as well, Indy Bostock. I mean, there's plenty.
Ella Costa played last year, but what I'm
He,
trying to
he
say
did,
is,
but
yeah,
she's all yeah. I understand, but no, I think there's a lot of players in that squad that could potentially play a part in our future. The interesting thing for me that I love is we beat Newcastle 24-12 in 2019. That team you're talking about, we also beat Newcastle 24 points to 12. So to have the same result over the same team, to win
same
both
venue.
our grand finals at the same venue, both at Combank Stadium. You're right. That would have been one of the first games at Combank Stadium in 2019, wouldn't it?
That's when it first opened.
Yeah, I would have thought so. I would have been around then. All right, back into NRL stuff, Jess, and well, I actually don't have anything in the news and rumours section. Do you have any news or rumours? Anything that you've heard? Anything that's going on that has been reported that you think might be relevant? Anything you can think of? Give me something.
Not really that I can think of, but I've just been hearing about this. What I was discussing it today. They're discussing about it's still going on. What's going on with the kickoff? Will a lot of legends have dismissed it, that they are outraged by this call. I don't think that's a thing they should be getting rid of. I mean, yes, you have those accidents where you get clashes. Yeah, it's tradition. They've got to keep it. I
think Peter Blandy's has come out and more or less said it's not something we're looking at the moment. He's dismissed it, said it's not a change we're looking at right now. That may change in the future, but right now, this is media talk based on the fact that there's been a couple of head knocks, and the actual head honchos of the NRL have said they're not looking at this change. They're not considering it. So we might leave that one there. We'll move it into forced and unforced changes. Moses Sully due back, and possibly also Luciano Leilua due back this weekend as well. What does that do to our lineup? Who drops out? What does the 17 look like next week if both Sully and Leilua are available?
Well, Sully comes straight in to the centres. I think Bird will be the one to make way. I think Tuapolotu has played well. I think Tuapolotu deserves to keep his spot. It probably won't happen that way, though. I think he will keep Bird in the back line somewhere. But yeah, I'd like to see Bird go to 14.
Starting in the back line?
I'm not sure what happened with.
You think Bird will still be starting in the back line somewhere? You still think Bird will be starting in the back line?
I think Flano will stick with him.
So how does that work? Who misses out?
I think Flano will stick with that. I think he'll put Bird. I think he'll have Sully and Bird to the centres, and somehow I think he'll have Lomax back to the wing and he'll drop to a Tuapolotu. I think that's what he'll do.
I'm scared of that.
It could happen. I could be wrong, but I personally, I'd like to see Bird on the bench. As I said earlier, I don't know how Famani Brown went with his HIA. So if Famani Brown is deemed if he failed his HIA, I'd look at Bird as a 14, and come on as that sort of player that can cover a few positions.
You haven't seen anything in the comments about it, so it's obviously nobody else knows either. So that's we'll have to watch his space, I guess, because normally our viewers and our fans know a hell of a lot more than we do. And tonight, yeah, they haven't. They've let us down. But Leilua back in.
Leilua, yeah, I still don't know. As he was scratched today. But
if he is back, who drops out?
I would probably drop out Raymond Fatala-Mariner. He hasn't done enough in the last few weeks. I think I'll keep eyes on him based on what his defensive stats were today, and we still need that defense. Maybe I don't know if maybe you look at him off the bench, Eisenhuth. But yeah, if Luch returns, I would say make way for I'd put Raymond for Talamarina back to New South Wales Cup.
Yeah, I've got to admit, I think I agree reluctantly with everything you've said there, because I understand a lot of Dragons fans would like to see more changes, and I feel that as well. Like, I would love to see the Couchman brothers come into the side. I would like to see, Savelio Tamale given an opportunity, but given we've got a couple of players potentially coming back in, if they're fit and available, I don't want to change this side too much. We weren't that bad. We weren't that far from
It was
the
just
team
that
that's
forwards
top of
that
the
let us
ladder.
down.
Agree.
They've got to carry the ball up and get into the dirty work and make the hard yards. You saw the Sharks, they made 60 metres from a set on average. We made 20. That's not good enough for NRL. And Ben Hunt had to kick us out of trouble every single time. He can't keep doing it.
Yeah. No, I don't think we're that far from what is a successful team. I don't think we're that far from being good. So with that in mind, I don't want to make too many unforced changes. There's a couple of guys down in the lower grade. Toby Couchman, he's got to be very, very close to getting picked. Like, I don't know what more he can do. 200 metres! Over 200 metres he ran in reserve grade. And he's making, 38 tackles with 0 missed. What more can the guy do?
More than our front row combined, Donny. More than our starting front row combined.
It's pretty crazy when you think about it that way, Jess. He has got to come into consideration for this next game against South. But given Luciano Lua's coming, but given Luciano Lua's coming back, given that we've got Moses Sully coming back into the team, you don't want to make too many changes to a team that actually went okay. So maybe they stick with that same side apart from those forced changes. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
It's a very winnable game too against Souths with the players they've got out.
We have to win this game. South are not going well. We have to win this game. This is. I don't want to overstate it, Jess, but this is our season on the line. If we want to play finals, and we can still play finals right now, we can still play finals. We want to play finals. We have to win this game.
We can't drop this game yet. If we lose this, we're gone.
100%. 100%. This is it. All on the line. Dragons need to win. Tuesday's going to be a massive show. How the team looks can shape how all of us are going to feel. I think it's really important. So, without further ado,
hope you're listening.
Come on, Dragons fans. Fire up.
Fire up.
Coco is at Panel's heart, she wears it on her sleeve. As Mustard tells tales of dragons wins and Juno victory. Tony and the MP crew will do their very best. Getting off topic and I digress with a red bee on our chest. The Mad Dragon podcast is a sheep of camaraderie. Navigating rants down rabbit holes in the land of big red bees. And so our paddlers sweep the tales and our cruise ship is our dream. The Mad Dragon podcast.